I just realized I don't have anything hilarious to do at the beginning of the show other than tell you that I failed miserably.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Now I'm just going to stare at you and make you feel uncomfortable. How's that?
It's not comfortable at all.
I know it's not. See, and then I left the sound on my video, so there we go. Messing up in all kinds of ways. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, so that means it's a Boss Up and List live show. If you are new here, which I'm assuming we're probably going to get some newbies coming to watch the show for the first time, Boss Up and List is our all-day virtual listing party that we do in the Boss Facebook group. So if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, you should go ahead and join our group because we do this every Wednesday, all day long. I put up a post in the morning. People go in and they put down what their goals are for the day. They check in throughout the day. And it's just a way to kind of set yourself up with some goals to try and get through and be held accountable by everybody else in the group, and also just have some fun. And if you have questions about things you're listing at the moment, you're stuck on something, it's just a really good way to get motivated and help each other out. So we've been doing this for a while. I mean, I don't know. I think we've done it I know this is number 11, but
I think this is our 4th store review, though.
Yeah, this is our 3rd.
Oh, only our 3rd.
Only our 3rd, I think. Oops. I could be forgetting about somebody. But anyway, we do have Denise Marie here, who is not only a new Boss Facebook group member, but she's also a new eBay seller. She's been doing it for less than 3 months, you guys. So we're going to do a live store review. I think she's very brave for putting herself out here. But if you want to go ahead and say hi, Denise.
Hi.
There she is floating around in space in her blue wall, but we're really happy to have her here today. So we'll come back to her in a little bit and ask her some questions and learn a little bit about her before we dive into her review. But
oh, no, not a new haircut, Gretchen. Just my bangs are a little too long, so they're pulled back. So that's all.
Well, okay, but you also just colored your hair yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of changes.
Well, she said haircut.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to grow it back.
Yeah, she literally just colored it yesterday morning, so it's super pinkish, and you can still see her
hairline,
her awesome dyed hairline going on.
You can tell we don't have makeup people for our cheesy YouTube show, right?
It kind of makes her like a hot pink Dracula thing going on. I think it's pretty.
It's Eddie Munster. I've got an Eddie Munster hairline.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's
There's no
cool.
shame in my game. Yes, my hair is dyed. Nobody has real pink hair.
All right. Hey, guys, I hope all of you have been getting some good listings done today, or maybe you decide to focus your day on taking photos or doing whatever you're going to do with your business. But I'm glad you're here taking a break with us. It's super awesome to see you all here. And let's see. Oh, I was going to say Val H commented on a video, and she wanted to know. She wanted
Val
to get
Hugo?
Huh?
Hugo?
I think so. Yeah, it must be Val Hugo. She wanted to know about our the wall behind me, and she was wanting to know if we've ever given a tour of the wall. And I felt like there's something that we need to talk about, guys. This show is an intervention when it comes to your eBay stores, but I think we need to have an intervention on Victoria because, listen, guys, I'm basically being held hostage in a room designed not by my own making. Okay, so here's the deal. When I moved in here, this is actually a loft, and this became my office. And she has an office downstairs, so we each have our own office. But this used to be her rock room. So it used to be completely decorated in rock memorabilia, posters, all kinds of really cool stuff.
Signed set lists.
Yeah,
and,
she's got cool stuff, guys. But now it's my office.
I'm an 80s rock chick.
And she tries to tell people oh, listen, I only have one wall. I'm only using one wall for my work. Okay. I'm in a loft, guys. Over here, you can't see, but over here, there is no wall.
It's a half wall.
No, okay, barely. There's pretty much no wall because it's a loft. Then, if you were able to look over here, you can see some of the light coming in. But over here, it's a giant window, okay? So there's a window on this wall. Then I've got this wall, and it's got a bookcase on it, and then I have one of those things called bulletin board thing. Mm-hmm. So really, the main wall that's got all the space for decoration is right here, and it's filled with her rock stuff. So here I am doing my YouTube thing.
I took down
doing my YouTube thing, and now people think that I'm obsessed with poison. Apparently, I've got a weird thing for Bret Michaels. Apparently, but what you need to know is that this is the weirdo over here. Okay, and then we've got I think Aerosmith, who yeah, they're okay. I like a couple songs, but. Would I create a collage of my love for Aerosmith to have on display? Probably not.
Oh, Pamela, no. Bite your tongue. It'll never be sold. This is all my personal memorabilia. Yeah. No.
And then she does have a really cool, it's like a rock guitar and then she has don't know if you can see next to, I mean, you can't read it, but you see there's like a list of words. That's a list of all the people that she's had sign it because she's taken it around to different shows to get people to sign. So listen, I get it. It's cool. It's not me, guys. And then I do have, if you can see behind me, there is this little shelving unit right here. And that's like my tiny little, like, hey, look at
tiny,
me.
really?
You shut your mouth. This is me. This is all the stuff that I like. So it's like Evil Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, lots of horror type stuff because that's what I'm into. But what you can't see is that the bottom, like 2 shelves of this, actually you can see part of it, that stack of CDs, is actually her inventory. So,
well, because I can't put CDs in the garage. It's 120 degrees there in the summer.
So here's the thing. I'm going to be starting a petition, okay? And I'm going to send it. Actually, I'll probably start it on.
You're right, Laura. I don't collect anything except my rock stuff. It's true.
Actually, I'm going to start a petition with I'm going to start a petition on the White House website because what is it? Yeah, because what is it? If you get like 1,000 or 100,000 like signatures, the White House has to respond to that. Okay, so we're going to start a petition to get me this wall. Because here's the other thing: we have 2 spare bedrooms. One of those bedrooms is her peacock room because she has kind of a weird obsession with peacocks. And the other spare bedroom it doesn't really have a theme. It's just like the girly room. And my idea is like turn that into a really cool rock and roll spare bedroom.
Okay.
Idea is like turn that into a really cool rock and roll spare bedroom.
Okay. I said I would do that if you keep your office clean.
Can you guys believe what she is saying to me right now?
Clean
very rude.
This office,
very rude. I'm being held hostage. See, I'm being held hostage. So she's making conditions. And then who is it decides what we consider clean? This one over here who wants to keep her stuff up. I would say she is not impartial when it comes to judging that.
I'm a neat freak. She's a slob. There's the difference.
Yeah, so let's just come together somewhere. I'd say my office is actually looking pretty good today. Come on.
This is the neatest it's been in a while.
Good.
I have to say.
Thelma Thrift wants to know what Victoria's rocker grail is. Like, are you saying like as far as like getting a signature or a photo or a thing?
You know what? I've been really fortunate. I have met every rock star I've ever wanted to meet. I've had everything signed that I've ever really wanted to have signed. I don't know. Like, I don't have any grail anymore. I used to say it was Nikki Sixx. I met Nikki Sixx, had a picture with him. Was my friend Mel.
She met Nikki Sixx and then she assaulted him. She stepped on his foot. And you know what? I feel like I've had my foot stepped on before, and I'm one of those people where it's like I don't want to embarrass the other person and make them feel bad. So like I won't say anything. I'll like silently be like in pain, but I won't say anything. You stepped on Nikki Sixx's foot, and he kind of was a big baby about it.
He kind of yelled, "Ow!" It was a little embarrassing. But anyway, I've met and been able to hang out with almost everybody I ever wanted to hang out with. I have a lot of rock star friends, acquaintances, and I've been really fortunate. Yeah. And a lot of the stuff that I did with my charity work years ago, we worked a lot with the rock community. Yeah. So
if you heard the story from before about Victoria's experience with the station fire back in 2003 and starting the nonprofit right after that to help with survivors. Obviously, at the time, especially, it was a very high-profile tragedy that took place, and because it happened at a rock show. It was big in the rock community.
Yeah, and a lot of the fundraising that the charity did had a lot to do with.
Yeah. So over the years that she was raising money, there were a lot of shows that were put on. So she did work with a lot of different musicians and.
I've been really lucky, and a lot of them I have retained as actual friends. You know, some people it was just a business transaction, but yeah. So anyway, I've been pretty lucky. I don't really have anybody that I want to meet that I have. That is like still alive. Yeah. You know, I've got a few on the bucket list that
Yeah. And then you run into the risk of like you meet somebody that you really love and maybe you idolize a little bit, and it's like you're kind of scared to like meet them and have them disappoint you.
Yeah, and that's happened. Happened. I'm not going to say who, but there's been a couple that have been total jerks, and it's really disappointing. But for the most part, I've been real fortunate. Everybody's really nice. So anyway, so yeah, we should move on. I will eventually move the rock stuff into another room, but that means I need to renovate a room. So you don't understand. That means I need to buy new bedding and curtains and change the room entirely. I can't go throw that in there with
It's horrible. It's horrible.
I have not been on the Rockers Legend Cruise, but I've been on the Monsters of Rock Cruise a few times.
She's done that one like 2 or 3 times, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Those cruises are expensive though, but you do get to hang out with all the peeps the whole time, so it's kind of cool. So a couple things. Our next Sunday live haul show, I had talked about it on the last one, but I wanted just to let you guys know in case you didn't see the last show. We are going to be doing like a little review of doing free returns, because we've both been doing free returns for about 3 months now. And so we're actually going to come talk to you guys with some real numbers, kind of look at like, weigh the costs and the benefits and talk about that a little bit, as well as just do our regular haul show with our sold highlights and stuff like that. So if you're interested in hearing more about like the actual results of doing free returns for a few months,
or at least our results.
At least our results, but we sell different things. I do all men's clothing. She does a little bit of everything and a lot of women's clothing, which tends to have higher returns. So I think we bring a couple of different perspectives to it.
They need to see your freaky cat shirt today.
Oh, today I was feeling like it was a top cat day, guys. I'm not going to wear it once and move on. I'm going to keep going back to it because it's beautiful. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to say, I know I've been after you guys about doing international shipping. And when I did last week's Boss Up and List live show, I did it all around like setting up business policies, setting up your international shipping. And I wanted to reiterate that because today, my sales haven't been like crazy lately, but today I shipped out 4 things. And of those 4 things, 3 of them were international sales. So without my international sales, I would have done $20 in the last 24 hours. I basically did, between those 4 items, I did like $182.73. $162.73 was just the international. Of course, the shipping was higher. It was like $52.39 to ship these things. 2 of them were t-shirts, guys. And then one was like a kid's jersey, those 3 things. And the average price after the shipping was paid was $43.45. So I would have had a rough day had I not been doing international shipping. And I would say that probably I would have had an even rougher day if I was doing global shipping, the global shipping program instead.
Yeah, I had a crappy day yesterday myself. I sold 1 thing for $30.
Yeah.
Which is not the norm for me either. I just think people were sleeping yesterday. So I've got a few sales in already today.
Apparently so. But yeah, so if you haven't like looked into doing international shipping, doing your own international shipping, please. I've been hearing already from a few people who have jumped into it finally. And it seems like they're doing well. I know Lorna has been one of the people who's been resistant, even though I've been harassing her. And Lorna just sold something, I think, was it yesterday or the day before? Which countries? South Korea, very exciting. And 2 to Australia. I sell a lot to Australia, you guys. Australia and Canada, 2 probably the top countries. Yeah. And then UK after that, a few others. But I've done a couple of South Korea before. I think I did like a Pendleton robe once to South Korea. But
interesting.
Anyway, very interesting. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to chat with Denise here. Actually, really quick, I'm going to mention our sponsor really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can talk about Sizely. I don't remember how much I talked about him last week, but I want to give him some love. So as you guys may know, may or may not know, Sizely is our one and only, our first sponsor that we've ever had on my channel. So they are a company that I've been using their templates for over almost the entire time that I've been selling on eBay. I've been using Sizely. They were free for a very long time with a limited number of templates. And then like 4 or 5 months ago, they finally switched over to a paid site. And to be honest, I was super excited the second I saw they were paid because it jumped up to like way more templates, way more stuff to use. And because I use them on almost every single listing that I do, for me, it's been really great. So
I even just started using them a few weeks ago.
Yeah, finally.
I had never used them before. I finally started using them a few weeks ago. And okay, I absolutely admit it's been real good. Yeah, it's been real good.
Like I have a pro account, and the pro account, like there's the top account is like a custom account. That's like if you're some sort of like super big company that wants like custom templates done. So other than that, the pro account's the top account. It costs like $8 a month. And then I think if you pay for the whole year, it's like $7 a month. But especially if you're heavily into clothing, I mean, you get like over 100 templates, and now Vicki's probably gonna yell at me for scrolling too fast, but you get like a ton of templates, and it's just, I don't know, for me, I think it makes my listings look a lot more professional. I think it cuts down on the potential for returns, particularly when it comes to women's clothing.
Way easier than typing everything out too.
Yeah.
Unless you're using templates, which I didn't. I would always start a new listing every time, and I still do that.
Yeah.
But instead of having to type everything out and have 5 or 6 lines, stating, hip measurement, chest measurement, waist measurement.
Well, like women's jeans, like you have to sit there and you got to show, like, yeah, like she said, the hip, the thigh.
I don't do the thigh, but I do everything, or the knee, but I do everything else.
However, because you have this template, you can see if, let's say you do the thigh measurement, what I like about this kind of thing is it shows exactly where on the pants the measurement is taken. Because to me, it's like, where do you measure the thigh? Do you measure down here? Do you measure down here? But it shows it right there, and then the hip as well. So I think it's an awesome tool. They are a sponsor, but so go ahead, and if you want to check it out, click the link that's down in the description down below, and you can go check it out. There is a free version. It's pretty limited, but you can at least try it on 1 or 2 listings.
Gives you an idea, though.
Yeah, try it on 1 or 2 listings just to see if you like it. Also, you can
put the website in the chat, please. It is. I don't think you can put websites in chats. You never used to be able to, unless that's changed.
Yeah, just go. I mean, if you just like, it's basically Sizely, size.ly. So if you just go to that in your web browser, it should take you right to it. But also the link, yeah, I don't know if I can, I mean, I'll try, hold on, let me try doing a link, because I do want you to go to my link, of course, because he's a sponsor. Come on. Let's see. This is very fun and exciting. Sorry, guys. We'll try it. All right. Yeah, it won't let me do it.
Yeah.
So go ahead. All you got to do is just open up the description down below this video, and it'll show you. But it's a great tool. So and you can also go check out like my store. If you go down and look at the link to my store in the description of this video, go look at any of my listings. Almost every single one of them uses Sizely. I have very few problems with returns. Of course, I do sell to dudes, so dudes tend to know what they wear. So
yeah, they're a little less picky.
Yep.
Than us chicks.
All right, so let's get started. So this is Denise Marie. She's here with us. And where are you located in the country, Denise?
Bradenton, Florida.
In Florida. What's the temperature right now over there?
Oh, it's probably close to 90.
Ooh,
and the humidity?
It's pretty humid.
100%?
Probably pretty close to it.
Probably. Yeah, it's pretty, I think today it's supposed to get to like 108 or 109. But
yeah, it was already, well, it's always a little bit higher than what it says, because Henderson, where we are, is about 3 to 5 degrees higher than actually Las Vegas temperature is. So
yeah,
it was about 103 when I just.
So. Yeah, but it's super dry, so it's like not that, it doesn't feel that hot, and it feels like what 85 degrees felt like back in Oregon, in my opinion, 85 to 90 degrees. So
yeah,
whatever.
About the same as New England weather is very similar to Florida weather, so I'm familiar with your humidity struggles. My hair would have looked like a chia pet in that weather. I do love the fact that my hair does not frizz out here the way it used to.
There you go. I just keep it short, and then I don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, I would have some frizz issues. I actually have really curly hair, like. When I was a little
we've got
girl,
someone else that lives in Bradenton, Florida.
Deb Motaz
Hi,
is
Deb.
in Bradenton. So there you
have
go.
A neighbor, maybe a new thrifting buddy.
Right? Yeah.
So Denise, you only do eBay part-time right now. You have a full-time job. Tell us about what you do for your like job.
Your real job.
I'm an OR nurse at an ambulatory surgery center.
Okay, and how long have you been doing that?
I've been down since I moved down here in Florida about 4.5 years ago.
Okay, nice. And how long have you been a nurse just in general?
It's actually a second career, so I've been a nurse for about 6.
Oh, so you're a newer one. I went back to school about 6 years ago to become an RN, and I made it most of the way through. I didn't finish all of my clinicals. Just you may have had the same issue with all the nursing professor shortage.
Yes.
I kept getting waitlisted with my 3.9 GPA, and I finally said, you know what, this is clearly not for me.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But I loved the process. So
Kara Cooper calls Florida the bad hair state, and she's from Florida as well.
Oh, well, Kara's got some curly hair, if I remember correctly. So I understand I understand, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you've been doing. This is what I think is really cool about having you on the show, Denise. You've only been doing eBay for, you said, less than 3 months, right?
Yeah, I think I opened the store on March 31st.
Wow.
Yay.
In March, yeah.
And so when you very first started, how many listings were you allowed to have?
I think it's only like 10 or 20. It wasn't very many. I had to call eBay a couple times to keep upping the list.
Yeah. Where are you at now for your limit?
I think it's 200 is the limit right now. And I haven't got up that high yet. I keep trying, but every time I get up there, I sell, which is good. But
that's good.
A good problem.
Well, and what's interesting is like right at first, it drives you nuts that they keep limiting you, and then all of a sudden you'll hit the month where it starts snowballing. And I think like right now, I think I'm allowed to have like something like 200 million listings.
Yeah, I don't have a limit. I know everybody says they have a limit. I mean, I guess if I ever got close, I would find out what it is, but I've never had my limit shown anywhere, so I couldn't possibly get it.
Yeah. And so you said in your email to me, Denise, that you'd like to go full time with this. So if nursing's your second career, are you looking for eBay to be like your third career, or what is it that you're wanting to do?
Just some more freedom to come and go as I want, because I really want to travel. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you get 2 weeks a year to have vacation, that's not a whole lot of travel time.
That was part of my my holding back and getting my actual nursing degree is because of that.
Because
you know, especially when you first start and you're a new nurse and you're working under a preceptor, you're generally working third shift for the first few years, trying to earn your spot in a day shift. And for me, I do travel a couple of times a year for 7 to 10 days to do charity work for a couple organizations that I work with. So that necessarily wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been able to do that if I went to go work for a hospital. And so that was the other option with me weighing it and went, you know what, eBay just gives me a little bit more freedom to do the things that really mean a lot to me.
Our friend the Violet Lemon is in Florida as well. And Kara Cooper's in Spring Hill. So I don't know where Spring Hill is compared to you, Denise.
There's a whole lot of Florida people here today.
Yeah, I know. A lot of them. Big Thrift. Allison was a flight medic in Northern Alberta in her prior life. So I think a lot of us have like prior lives as far as careers. You were a mortgage broker. You sold furniture and mattresses. Why is it that like mattresses are one of those things that like needs? It's like they're just like
because
random
it's a
products.
it's because it's a difficult process to figure out what you like, and it's usually an expensive thing, and you keep it for 7 to 10 years.
Strange.
And it's expensive, and the markup, like furniture, like jewelry, is like a 4,000% markup. So they can afford to pay salespeople on commission.
Well, yeah, and my degree is in nonprofit management, and I was an executive director of a nonprofit before I was doing eBay. I kind of fell into eBay. So I think there's a lot of people out there that kind of have cool like prior lives, and now they find themselves part of this weird, wonderful world of selling on eBay. So how do you like it so far, Denise?
Selling on eBay, I love it.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm at work and I have my phone on me and I hear the cha-ching. It's like, it's almost like an adrenaline rush.
It's exciting.
It is for sure.
Yeah.
And so what, I guess my question is like what is your goal? I mean, I know you want to sell full time, but what in your mind, like, what does that mean? Like, are you wanting to completely replace your income? I mean, you work as a nurse. Nurses, that's a profession that's relatively decently paid. So what do you want to do?
I would like to, my goal is probably to get to where I can make gross or net $1,000 a week. Sorry.
Okay.
And I probably would continue to work, PRN as a nurse because, I do enjoy my job as well.
PRN.
Yeah.
And so what does that mean, PRN?
I mean, they when they need you or it's part-time. Kind of,
Okay, so you can
PRN means as needed.
Nice. So you can still supplement. Basically, so you're wanting to gross $1,000 a week on eBay, and then you would be supplementing your income by basically being an on-call nurse and still using your background, education, and everything experience. So I think very doable goal. Very doable.
Definitely.
And I think you can definitely get there. And just based on like looking at your store numbers as they are currently, and considering you've only been doing this for less than 3 months, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to achieve that. What's the thrifting like where you're at? Like how's your sourcing?
It's actually really good. There's so many thrift stores around down here. And then you have the snowbirds. So when they're going back up north, I think they just kind of dump all their stuff and come back down and redo it again. So it's actually
heard that before from other people in different parts of Florida that it's really good material out there. So
yeah, for sure. Do you have like a specific like niche that you like to work in? Like are there certain things that you enjoy thrifting over other things?
I think I'm still kind of trying to figure that out, but probably more clothing, shoes, purses, that kind of thing. Yeah. Because when the actual items like the household stuff, when I buy those, I don't seem to do as well. So
yeah. Okay. How did you get into doing it in the first place? Were you already somebody who liked to thrift? Like, how did you start doing it?
I thrift all the time. I was like, well, then I started finding out. I think I came across a video or something where somebody was talking about how they'd flipped some stuff, and I was like, oh, well, I could do that. Let me try that. So I just posted a few things, and you start seeing that cha-ching, and I'm like, oh, let me try a few more, and then I just started watching a ton of videos and reading up and trying to learn as much as I can. Yeah.
Very fun. Well, yeah, like Vikki, she came from the East Coast. So on the East Coast, she did when she started selling on eBay, it was all like collectibles and
antiques
and stuff like that. She never thrifted, and she never thrifted in her personal life because she was like, just didn't. She never bought. She didn't like.
I thought it was gross.
Buying used clothes and stuff like that. Like I grew up thrifting. I grew up with my grandma was a big. She liked to go to garage sales. She still does. She liked.
My mother like made us think that used clothing and used shoes and garage sales were dirty. So and I know that that's not true, but that was how that was the mentality that I had growing up, and I don't know why. It was just my mother was like, "Yeah, that's gross. Other people's discarded stuff." Not to say that she was a snob, because she was a snob against used stuff, I suppose. But now I can't bring myself to pay full price for anything.
Yeah. So when she moved to Vegas, and there's not really a market for antiques, and because it's such a new place and there's people in and out, it's like there's not really any of that history that you get on the East Coast with as far as.
So I had to learn. Like I had never been in. We do have thrift shops and Salvation Army and Savers and stuff like that on the East Coast, but I never went into a Savers. I didn't, thrift clothing. If I sold clothing or anything, it was maybe my own, that I was just getting rid of, and I'd throw it on eBay. But for the most part, it was all hard goods, all antiques, antique linen sometimes. But that's about the gist of it. And when I moved here, I realized, oh crap, I can't do that here. I can't make a viable living here. So I started thrifting and doing more garage sales, and now I love it. So I've been here for 5 years. Actually, this week it was my 5-year anniversary of living in Vegas.
Yeah, my grandma loves that. Like, this is what I do for a living now, because she's all about thrifting. And she would buy linens. She always knew everything about linens and scarves, and then she'd go and have a little table somewhere and sell them. And she's adorable. All right, Denise, we're gonna look at your store now. We're gonna start talking about this. And you guys, I put the name. You guys should. I don't think I put the link. Yeah, I did. I put the link to Denise's store in the description of this video. So if you guys want to look along, or if you have any comments you want to make,
if you want to participate, but be nice, be gentle, be kind.
Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. When I started out, I know that I made all the mistakes. I thrifted all the wrong things. I didn't know what I was doing. When I started doing hard goods, and then I think I went to the bins or something, and I realized oh, there's a ton of clothes out there. And for some reason, I just kind of it really was an organic shift. I didn't make the decision to do it, but I started thrifting men's clothing, and I didn't know anything about men's clothes, but I was doing it at the bins. So it was 99 cents a pound. So it's what, I'm going to pay 20 cents for this shirt. So I bought all the wrong stuff. My photos were terrible. And honestly, I think that Denise's listings look way better than mine did in my first 3 months.
Oh yeah. I mean, some of her listings look better than mine do now 12 years in. I mean, I'm there's no shame. Like I say, when we do, sometimes we'll show our solds. I'll be like, oh, that was a shitty picture. Sorry about that. But it happens. You know what? You're trying to list a lot of stuff. Sometimes the listing is not going to be 100%. I know some people will focus 20 minutes to get the right picture for their listing. I'm sorry. I just don't have time for that. I do the best I can to keep it going as fast as possible. And that means that my listings are sometimes they're going to be better than others. Yep.
All right, Denise, first of all, I'm digging this little banner you got going on.
I know. I like that.
That's funny. Okay, Weird Thrifty Chick. That's the name of your store. First of all, you're already up to 24 feedback, which I don't think is bad at all for less than
not at all.
Less than 3 months. You're at 100%, which is great.
She's got her store information filled out, which is great. You've got a picture. That's already a lot of people good stuff. A lot of people don't bother.
It looks like you've got your categories figured out. A lot of people don't do that. They put everything into other. They don't bother to kind of get into actually setting it up appropriately. So that's just looking at the store. Okay, so I'm actually.
As you get bigger, you may want to go into subcategories, but so far they look good.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
My plus. Oh, you already got plus size there, jackets and coats. Yeah, I mean you're good.
And now I actually like to get out of the store and to look at the actual numbers, because here it tells me that you have 167 items for sale, which isn't bad for being at less than 3 months. So you have 167 active listings. And now what I do is I like to go whenever I'm doing looking at somebody's store like this, I like to go down and I'll actually click on the sold listings. And this number right here, it says you've got 70 things that have sold. And this is for the last 90 days because they only show what's happened in the last 90 days. And so the way I kind of figure out your sell-through rate, and I know this isn't going to be super, sorry, this isn't necessarily going to be super accurate, particularly because you are a new seller. And so your first 30 days, you only had like a very limited number of listings. But this is how I would normally do it. I take the 70, divide it by 3, and then divide that by your total number of listings, which puts you at about a 14% sell-through rate. I would say you probably are higher than that because you did not have 167 listings your first month or your second month.
Right.
So actually your sell-through rate is really, really good if we're just talking about volume. Volume-wise, great sell-through rate. Even 14% is pretty good. I would bet you're probably closer to like 20% or more.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you have anything to say about that?
No, I think you're right. I think your fuzzy math, which is what we have to use to get to sell-through rate in the first place, is pretty good. I think that's pretty good.
So when I first glanced at it, I was like, oh, her pictures are pretty good. Particularly considering that I, back in the day, did the whole, I'm going to hang my stuff on the back of my closet door and you're going to be able to see the doorknob. Now, going a little further into your pictures, I do see that you have some pictures like that, but it looks like maybe you've switched up your photo setup.
Yeah, those are probably the older listings when I first started.
Okay, which is good. Because I'm looking at just the ones that we're showing on the screen right now, like your Sailor Jerry, that skirt, this little Tori Richard shirt, not so good of a picture, but the Free People shorts, you know, the ones that you have on an angle with the real, with the background, your shoe pictures are all good. I would, I
think your lighting's pretty good too.
The lighting's good. Yeah, your colors are good. I would probably go in and change that Hawaiian Tonga dress and put a picture of the dress, not the label.
Let's look and see what we have here. So there's the dress.
Yeah, I would put, like, probably make your second picture your primary photo, just not the label, just so you can see.
And I would work a little bit on straightening out these pictures. So when you're taking the picture, like trying to, because they're kind of at a tilt, and you could do like a main photo that's like, you don't have to have your main photo have everything in it, and clearly you don't. Some of your pictures you don't, like this one you just have the tag. But like I would just have it be like basically
like focus on the top half.
Yeah, because you're just trying to grab attention. You want to fill that photo, the frame of that photo as full as possible with your product, while still being able to see what it is.
Because that's a really cute dress, and I think your pricing is right in line for what you could get for it. I think if you took a couple of extra photos of it, and again, you don't have to go in and change all 167 photos because the good majority of them are perfectly fine. But if you want to go back in and tweak some of your photos.
I never changed any of my photos, to be honest. I still had the shirt hanging off the door. Like a year and a half after I was doing it. Like I just decided for myself it wasn't worth the time to go back and do that. And eventually those got weeded out. So definitely moving forward, I wouldn't worry too much unless you get to a point where you're gonna like try to like end a listing and do sell similar and you want to tweak some things. You can even do that just by
I might on that one just because of the price on it.
Yeah.
I think you got a better chance of selling it if you want to add a couple of better photos. But in general, it's not a bad photo. Your shoe photos are good.
Can you go ahead and describe to us what your photo setup is like right now?
I actually invested in a lighting system. So it's got there's a white backdrop and a black backdrop, and then the lighting system. So good. I feel that was a really good investment. And I think I only paid like $70. So
yeah, they're really not expensive. The one I have, I think I paid like $60 for. So it makes a huge difference. And that's one of the big things I tell all sellers is like invest in a decent lighting setup because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say, and I say this to everybody, is making sure that at least your main photo is square. Most of your photos, it looks like maybe you've moved over to that, but you still have some pictures that aren't. So that's great that you've adjusted to that. I don't know, what else do you have to say about pictures?
Let's see. Some people are saying make sure you use a white backdrop. I think she is using a white backdrop for most of them. The black is perfectly fine. The only reason eBay says to use the white backdrop is for people that are using the photo search feature. It picks up white backdrop better. But for the most part, white or black is fine. I use black on some stuff too, but I do tend to only use it on the lighter white, off-white, yellow items. But that's not to say you should go in and change your photos. I think my other suggestion would be the items that you have, like scroll down just a little bit. The items that you have hanging on a hanger, like maybe like this jacket, or which looks like it's one of your earlier listings.
That's a cool jacket though.
It's a really cool jacket. I think that it would do better with a flat lay photo.
To be honest, I think this is underpriced.
Yeah, actually, that is
in my opinion.
Okay.
But just saying, because it's that really cool kind of cafe racer bomber jacket, kind of like a members only, and it's definitely legit vintage. It's a great color. It's got the faux Sherpa shearling like kind of lining to it. Looks like it's removable. I mean, that's an awesome jacket. I mean, sorry to interrupt, but
yeah, I think your jacket.
I think you could redo these photos.
Underpriced, because I think that's like 60s.
Okay.
I would redo these photos, and I would price this more like 100, but that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so continue.
My other question would be, not my other question, but my statement, what I was saying is the things that you have on a hanger that look kind of wonky when they're on the hanger, like this jacket, I would take, and if you haven't invested in, mannequins or a half mannequin yet, that's okay. And it's baby steps. But I would say that's one of the things that you may want to do a flat lay on.
Yeah.
It just tends to photograph better. And by flat lay, I mean lay your white background on the floor, stand over it, and just take your photo down.
Mm-hmm. I do have a mannequin, but my question is, the mannequins seem to be smaller size. How do you get like the plus size clothes to look good on a mannequin?
It's tough. Use clips. Use like binder clips. Or paper, or clothespins. That's what I use to make it fit a little bit better on if you're using those flat mannequins or just those little hollow back mannequins, which is what Katie uses. She just uses.
Yeah, I'm just looking for
hollow back mannequin.
I was going to show you guys kind of what this is, and I think Lorna just got one recently. I'm not fine. Oh, here's the one that I have. So I'll just bring this over so you guys can see it. Now, I don't know anything about this website, guys. But this is basically what I have, and I just hang this. And if you go and look at my photos, and this comes in a 3-pack. So
that's a 3-pack, so you get all three of them.
Yeah, so if you just look around,
you can get them for like $10-15 delivered.
Yeah, but this is the basic idea. And if you go ahead and just look at my listings, and you can get an idea of like what kind of pictures you can get out of using a thing like this. Okay. And I think it works great, and it's super inexpensive. And then they have ones for women as well. So yeah.
I have a couple of different ones that are hanging ones, but I also I have full body mannequins too. And I do have a plus size mannequin for my girl. We call her Big Girl.
Yeah.
I have Big Girl, and then I have the Skinny Witch with a B. Those are my two. But, dressing a mannequin and undressing the mannequin does take a little bit longer. So those hollow back ones are perfectly fine. Sometimes you can find them where they have men's, women's, and a child one for like $30 delivered. If you've got the room, just stick them in a closet.
Yeah.
Those are real helpful. But if you don't have a mannequin, or you don't have the room for a mannequin, definitely try the flat lay thing on stuff that looks kind of funny on a hanger.
And that's what Gretchen says. What about plus size chest areas? I have a size 20 dress and the chest hangs weird. So she hasn't posted it yet. I think you would just have to do a flat lay with that, right?
I think that one probably would be a good flat lay type of thing. And if you can't make it look halfway decent with clips or then. And
you gotta be careful with the clips, because it's like if it's let's say it's a size 20, and you're like clipping it behind a mannequin and making it look like a small dress, it's like you're not really representing very well what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
I think. So I think it's always kind of weird when they clip them back too tight.
Store closing buyouts for mannequins like Big Dress. Like that's exactly how I got mine. Mine were purchased when there was a JCPenney or something like that closed here in town. I bought some real heavy duty expensive mannequins for a pretty decent price. So
yeah. Thelma Thrift says, zip the jacket and crop the picture. Exactly. But that's an awesome jacket. I love it. I definitely would have picked that up if I was thrifting. Okay. So, and Lorna says that buying her half male Manny is the best investment this year. So she loves them.
My mannequin, we call Manny 3.0. He's my third one.
Yep. All right. What do you have next on your list, Vikki?
Mine were less about photos. Let's see. I had one tip on one particular item. It was the Napa Valley denim skirt. If you scroll down a little bit more.
Down.
Yeah.
Scrolling.
Okay, right there. Right, so these where you've got your two skirts where you're showing the print up close. That's a good picture to have, but that one right there should be your main photo, so you can actually see the skirt itself. And I can see your wrap, your drapery or whatever you had it on top of. Yeah. So maybe crop it a little bit.
Figure out a way to hang it. I know this is like one of the reasons why I hate, and I say it again and again, I hate listing pants, and I don't list pants anymore if I can help it, is I know it can be kind of a pain to get it like hanging correctly and getting good pictures of it. So I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to photograph, but that one photo that you have as your main photo is going to make your customer scroll right by, because that's just a close picture of they can't tell what the shape of the skirt is. They can't, you know what I mean? Certain people are going to be just scrolling by especially when they're mobile and looking for the shape or the length or the color. And while that embroidery detail is really nice, it's good to have the photo. It shouldn't be the main photo because you can't see enough of the actual item.
Absolutely. Okay. And I can see here, you've got some good keywords in here. Yeah. Modest, prairie, like those are, you've got some, you've definitely been paying attention to like what kind of keywords sell these kinds of things. Why don't we jump into, I would say probably one of the bigger things that we noticed about your store, Denise, is your shipping prices. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the shipping prices are a little bit all over the place. And I think that's probably from you just learning and starting, and maybe some listings have different things on them. I'm not one that's going to say that you have to do free shipping. Yeah. I think that depends on everybody's business model is a little bit different. You're perfectly fine with charging shipping if you'd like to. I do suggest personally, because I do this and Katie does it as well, that you should price anything that you can fit that is either under 1 pound or that you can fit in a priority flat rate padded mailer as free shipping.
Do you use those mailers right now, Denise?
No, not really.
Okay, I would suggest that you go on the post office website, because you can't get them at the post office, and you order 100. Basically, they come in packs of 10, so basically order 10 of them, and they'll send you 100 of them. They'll send you a big box, and they're padded flat rate mailers, and they send them to you for free, so you don't have to pay anything. But you can fit, a lot of stuff will fit, a lot of your clothing items will fit in one of those mailers.
Even some of your shoes.
Yeah, even some of your shoes.
All jeans, all skirts,
this
all
skirt
dresses
would absolutely fit in one of those. And with the eBay discount on shipping, it's only going to cost you $6.90 to ship one of those.
Oh, okay.
So even if you're shipping, even if you're charging for shipping, you should be able to bring that price down. I mean, if you're going to charge for it, charge something like $7.50 or whatever you want to charge for it. And that's going to bring a lot of your costs down. And, if you're not even using those, then that means you're spending too much on your shipping yourself, whether you're charging for it or not.
Right.
Like Vikki said, I personally like anything. I mean, right now, because I do all clothing, even some of my shoes are heavier, I do free shipping on everything. I just personally like making sure that my listings are getting to everybody possible. And there are some people, we don't know how many people exactly, but there are definitely some people who do their searches and they filter it by only listings that have free shipping. So to me, it just makes sense, especially with stuff that's under £1, which means it's not going to cost more than $4 something to ship, or anything that can fit into a padded flat rate mailer, to go ahead and just basically you add that cost into your price. So for instance, this, you would just change the price to like $36.95. Free shipping, something like that. So that's just a possibility. Or if you do want to charge shipping, go ahead and just bring your prices down, because your prices are kind of all over the place when it comes to shipping.
Well, when I do the listings, I do the calculated based on where the buyer lives, I guess. So it probably varies for wherever anybody is. So I'll look into the free shipping.
Yeah, I think if you look at everything that you have, and you can do what's called bulk changing or bulk editing. If you look at everything you have that is a clothing item, you should be able to go in, if you'd like to, go in and change your shipping to free.
Okay.
And it will still say, you'll still have your weight in there, that all that information you already put in there, whether it's a pound or 2 or under £1, it'll still be in there. And then what you're going to add to that is, then you can just go in and bulk edit and up your price by $6 on everything and put down free shipping, or up by $7 and put in free shipping. What it's going to give you is going to give you better search results, and you've got a better chance of your item selling, especially when it's something that's a more common item. That maybe like that vintage prairie skirt type of thing, there's a bazillion of them, but you want your buyers to be drawn to your specific item. So if you have all of the good things pegged, like a good photograph, free shipping, a reasonable price, all that stuff, you're going to be up higher in the search results, so that the customer's not going to wade through 400 of them in that size to find what they like. You've got a better chance of them seeing yours and buying yours.
Yeah. And Violet Lemon says, as a customer, I always want free shipping, so I offer it too. Yeah, I mean, I know for myself, before I was a seller, when I would do searches, I would click on that free shipping thing. Because for one thing, I'm from Oregon, and in Oregon we don't have a sales tax, so it always drives me crazy when I'm looking at something I want to buy, and it's like I have to add numbers together because I'm just used to like you have a price and that's what it costs. And so it's just I'd rather see, oh, this is $14.99 and that's it, than this is $9.99 and then I got to add the shipping on top of it and figure out, okay, what's my final cost going to be? It's like, I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's just kind of one of those, it's buyer psychology, and it's what people like to see.
And there's a lot of things that will, not just that flat rate envelope, but your, anything that's first class, your first class items. Now do you have a store, Denise? She does. A store? Okay. Yes. So quarterly you should get your free shipping supply coupon.
Yeah, I did use that once already.
You used that. Okay. So that's where you're going to want to get your poly mailers. Exactly. So use that for all of your first class stuff.
Okay.
And then, because the poly mailer is the lightest thing, and unless it's breakable, you can put anything in those things. I even suggest a lot of your shoes that you're seeing here. That's one of the other things about your shipping. A lot of your shoes, some of them have shipping at like $4 or $5 is what it's showing to me, and some of them are showing $12.90 shipping. And I know it's because we're in different coasts, and that's probably like over 2 pounds.
Ornament says 71-cent shipping. I don't know what
you
shipping
can't ship anything for 71 cents.
So I'm not sure like why it's coming up with that number, but
I don't know. That must be an eBay thing because I haven't calculated.
And the other thing with Big Thrift, Allison just said, you should get some of the other shipping supplies that they have. Just go on the USPS website because they have, and look at their free priority stuff, because like I use a lot of their priority shoe boxes, which are not flat rate, but I use those a lot when I do, when I go and use the cubic priority shipping, which you can't do on eBay. So it's kind of like I guess next level. You might be.
I'm
not going to try to confuse you, but I would get some of the flat rate stuff, like flat rate medium, flat rate large, and then those padded envelopes, because if you have sometimes like a big heavy jacket, for me, like the best way to send a big heavy jacket that's like 4 pounds, it can fit in one of those medium flat rate mailers, which is like $12.50 or something like that. And especially you're in Florida, you sell one to California, which I'm guessing that you probably get a lot of sales in California since it's got a huge population. And all the way from Florida, it's going to be on the higher end of costs there, just like it is for us if we're shipping to New York or something like that. So it's going to change. It's
going to be a game changer for you if you can figure out. And half of the battle is learning how to. You have a scale, obviously. You have a lighting kit. Getting your right shipping supplies and being able to figure out how to best ship an item is a big learning curve as well. Okay. So. Awesome. Colleen Gallagher said the 71 cents is because you have it on letter instead of package, under weight and dimensions.
Oh,
you can change that.
There you go. Yeah, so probably need to fix that. I see Jay from Build the Brand is here. You guys, I got to tell you about Jay. Jay was my arch nemesis in Oregon for thrifting streetwear. I would see him when I'd see his Jeep parked out in front of the Salvation Army, and I'd go, Jay! Just like in, Seinfeld when
Newman.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would say, because I'd be like, Jay's in there. He's getting all the good stuff. I got to go get it away from him. So good to see you here, Jay. I know you missed me. Anyway, so let's see. What do we have next on here?
That was my biggest thing is the shipping stuff. Get a handle on the shipping stuff, especially now while you have only the 167 active items.
Okay.
That's not that difficult to change. If you wanted to go in and change them one at a time, you still have the ability to do that. And I think part of that might be just a quick question. Again, I know we're probably overwhelming you, so good thing this is on replay. You can replay this all. But do you have your shipping policies set up?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I even know where to go to find that.
Okay. Katie did a last week's live show, actually. If you wanted to go back. Live show. Last Wednesday's show, the Boss Up and List show, she talks about how to build your business policies and shows you step by step how to do that.
Okay. And
that might be something you want to review before you go in and change any of your shipping policies. I think that'll make a big difference for you.
Okay.
It gives you step by step how to do it. She does a screen share, because I personally, as long as I've been doing this, I didn't know how to go in and change my business policies until she showed me like a month ago. Mine just kept getting remade, and I had probably 25 business policies, and I really only needed like 6. So I get real confused with the minutia. I'm not a very computer savvy person, considering I sell online. That's pretty pathetic. But I have to be shown how to do something 3 or 4 times before I remember how to do it myself. So Anyway,
Jay just thanked me for moving. Thanks a lot, Jay. Whatever. The next thing I wanted to point out, I wanted to talk about was you have best offer on everything. Now, I put best offer on everything that I sell. Vikki didn't used to do it on as much. She's doing a little bit more now. But what I noticed is that you have best offer on stuff that you already have priced very low. And I know a lot of sellers, like they have like certain things they like you won't put it on something that's like under a certain price.
I don't put it on stuff that's like under $15 because I do have, some lower priced crap that I'm trying to sell out, or maybe something I paid $1 for, or it was my own item. And, I don't put it on the lower price stuff just because I don't want to be inundated with $3 offers on a $15 item that cost me $6 to ship. I mean, I don't have time for that crap.
I mean, I understand, like maybe you're trying to clear stuff out. Man, are you kidding? Like this fanny pack, I think you could have sold this for more. I would have worn this fanny pack, but let me look at I'm just going to look at this real quick. So this fanny pack, wait, it should have told me what the offer was. So this sold for $9, took an offer for $9. So the thing you have to think about is that time is money. Your time is valuable. I know it seems like, oh, that's like the free thing that you have is you can just put in a bunch of hours, but time is money. And so when you are, when you add everything together, you're out sourcing, then you get home and then you have to take photographs, and then you got to take measurements, and then you have to actually make your listing. And then once it gets ordered, you actually have to package it up and you have to ship it and you got to do all that stuff. Like you got to think about like what amount of time goes into just one item, especially when you're like, how you are as a seller and we are, where we do one-offs. It's different if you're selling a quantity of 100 of something. You can take a little more time on the individual listing. But for something like this, it's like, and it probably costs you, I'm assuming, around what you charge for shipping. It probably costs you at least a few bucks to ship it. So in the end, I don't know how much did you pay for this, Denise? Do you know?
I think maybe like $250.
Okay, so you paid $250. You spent another, we'll say $3-4 to ship it. Like you ended up making like a few dollars, and I don't know how much time. I mean, even if you were super fast, like you probably spent at least 20 minutes on this one item, 15, 20 minutes on this item, all together with everything that you had to do.
And you're worth more than $12 an hour.
Yes, you're worth much more.
That was one of the early items I bought, and I bought it thinking it would be like a cool item and get a lot for. But the comps, once I got home and looked it up, and they weren't selling for that much.
Gotcha. I hear you. I
wanted to get rid of it.
And when I started out, my first sale was in December of 2015. I got up to about 1,000 items by, I think, October of 2016. And so I was right at full time. And my average sale price at that time was at about $20 that October. And then since then I've grown. The next month I went to 25, then 30. So it definitely, like, I get it. Like when you start out
right,
like not knowing as much about what stuff is worth. Right. And you start out at lower price stuff. But you really need to think about, like, what is your selling model going to be? Because there's other people out there who it's like they're building an empire and they have people working for them. And it's okay. Like you watch somebody
for under $15.
Yeah, and you watch somebody like Casey Rockstar Flipper. It's like he sells a lot of lower price stuff, but that's okay. And even he's talking about he really wants to bring up his average sale price. I think his right now is like $17 $20 or something like that. But the thing is that
he has two people working.
He has like his fiance works with him, and she does like a lot of the photography, if not all of it. She also, I think, lists like 25 items a day, and then he's listing, and I know his mother helps some too. So he has a lot of man hours under him. If you look at Chris Lynn, Daily Refinement, he also has people working for him, but he also, since he began, has really changed to where he's trying to bring his average sale price up. So yes, if you have like a massive amount of man hours, you can sell things that are a lower average sale price and still be successful. But if you're looking to be, you're the only person on the job, which is how I am, and mostly how Vikki is. She gets a little help with photos, but mostly it's just her. Or like you, and you just want to go out and travel and stuff. And I'm assuming you don't have dreams of a huge empire and people working under you. So one of the things you want to focus on is learning brands, learning what sells and for how much, and then slowly building up the average sale price.
Yes, absolutely.
So, what do you have? Another thing you'd like to focus on?
I'd like to talk about the titles.
Okay, titles.
You can start with that one. So we talked about pictures. We talked about shipping, and let's talk about the titles. So for the most part, your titles are pretty good. You're getting a lot of keywords in there, and I will tell you that half of the issue with learning how to structure your titles is finding the correct keywords. So that part you're pretty good at already. The only suggestion that I would say is to get some type of format to your titles. You want to put the first half of your title, you want to heavy load with the most important information, because when you're looking at a listing on mobile, only the first 50 something characters, I believe, is what is shown, unless they hit see all. So when someone's scrolling, you want them to be able to see the brand, the item, and the size all in the front.
Okay.
And then put your descriptions, like this thing, this vest. So you've got quilted lightweight puffer vest pockets. That's good because you've got it toward the end. That's kind of the way that you want to show that type of thing. The other thing that I usually say is you can take the word women's, men's out of your title.
Okay.
You don't need to have it in there because it's already in that category. If you have the room to put it, feel free, but I don't think it's a necessary thing.
I put it in all of mine, but it is a word that I will take out if I need more real estate in my title. And I do mine slightly a little bit differently, but I do brand is always first for me. And then second is always what it is. And then my size is more towards the end. I don't worry about that as much, but certainly the brand and what it actually is, like if it's a t-shirt or a jacket or whatever, it's like, I like to have that up at the front. So,
yeah.
But everybody's going to have a slightly different thing.
Yeah, I don't do mine exactly like Katie does either. So, and my titles don't necessarily have a huge format about them. I just try to, especially in the last several months, learning about how the titles are truncated on mobile. I've started to, front load my title for that exact reason and put more of the descriptive words toward the end of the title.
But definitely your first five, your first 5 words are going to be super important.
Okay.
The other thing too is in the titles, you want to take out any punctuation or symbols. So even with women's and men's, you don't necessarily have to put the apostrophe. You can if you'd like to, obviously.
Like here you have it. You have it like how I do it. And down here you have it with an apostrophe. I would just take that out because it's a waste of, a waste of real estate. So, and symbols in general, I don't know if you have any symbols, but anything extra that's not letters.
Even this pilot cap, which sold, which is a nice sale, by the way. Very nice, both of those. 7.5. You change that to 7.5. Just little things like that are going to make your titles look a little bit cleaner. The other thing too is this black beaded bag here. Those words are all good words, but you want to make sure that you have the first letter of every word capitalized.
Yeah, it just makes it look a little more consistent and professional.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's a little bit random what things you have capitalized and what things you won't. This is where you have to throw out your rules of grammar and punctuation and and proper nouns, because and I'm a grammar police. My friends call me that all the time, so I understand that sometimes that's difficult, but it's the easiest thing to do if you just put everything a little bit more uniform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so right here, you've got your quotation marks, summer cottage. You would just take the quotations out.
Yeah, because it could mess up the search.
Gotcha.
Okay, so why don't you tell us really quick, what is your, because you work a full-time job, so what kind of hours are you putting into your eBay? What's your kind of routine with eBay? How consistent are you with your eBay work?
I usually try to hit a thrift store, especially the ones that have the sales on towards Thursday or Friday. Sundays, my take pictures and draft my listings, and then when I find time, even just when I'm laying in bed, I upload the pictures and send it live. And then during the evening, occasionally I'll try to go back and do a few more drafting listings. Just what I try to squeeze it in whenever I can, but Sunday's the biggest day that I spend all day doing eBay stuff.
Okay, that's good. That's consistent.
Yeah, I think so. And our big thing, in the Boss Facebook group is I'm really pushing people. It's all about listing consistently. I'm actually going to take off the shared screen because I don't think we really need to look at anything anymore. But the whole 2 or 2 thing that I do every day, and that's just about getting really good at being consistently active. And so I would actually say I don't know exactly how you do it throughout the week, but if you have a day like Sunday where you're doing all these drafts and getting everything set up, but then you're busy the rest of the week, I would set it up to where you kind of schedule it out where every morning or whatever you make 2 live, or however many, let's say you have 14 drafts, then you would set it up so each morning you would send a couple of them live, just so that every single day you have something new hitting your store. Because I think you can totally like balance it like that if you just kind of like get into a routine of doing that. Because I just think, you know, there's a lot of evidence that shows that the more active your store is and the more consistently you're working it, the more sales you're going to see come in. And it also makes it easier to kind of get into those habits of making sure that you're doing what you need to do all the time. And especially like when you get to the point where like you want to take off for a week, we do that where we'll extend our handling time out. But we'll make sure that we're still listing a couple of things every day, or, you know, so you would do a similar
listing or similar.
So you do a similar thing where you would like get all your stuff ready before you go on your big trip, extend your handling time so you don't have to ship anything while you're gone. And then while you're gone, you can just go on your phone and, you know, make those drafts live each day so that you're still, again, consistently putting the stuff out and you're not stopping all work because you've left for a week or two.
Because in 30 days, I'm going to be gone for 10 days right before eBay open, and I'm not going to have the ability to list anything.
Yeah.
So I am going to have to, I can't list, I can't relist. I have very spotty reception where I am. I'm going camping. I'm a camp counselor for kids, and it's in the mountains in northern Washington. So our Wi-Fi is terrible. And I just don't have the time to do it. So my wonderful Katie is going to ship for me every day, which is great. I'm just going to, but I'm not going to be able to list anything. So.
I'm going to have to ship all of her hard goods. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those things. I'm going to try to put together a whole bunch of drafts so that when she's going in shipping, she can just,
I can just launch a few of them,
launch a couple things that are completely ready.
Yep. I can totally do that. But yeah, so I think that's like a big thing. And then I don't know, dude, let's go to like actionable tips here. And a lot of them are going to be the same things that we tell everybody else because it's all a numbers game. You have a good sell-through rate for what you have right now. So I think a really big thing is going to be working on sourcing and selling higher value items,
Yes.
Which I think just happens naturally. And clearly, like based on looking at your store right now, clearly you are somebody who's really good at getting new info, retaining it, and then applying it to your work. So I think that you're not going to have any trouble like kind of building up that knowledge base and basically becoming a better seller and becoming a better sourcer. Like I'm not too worried about that. I think that's going to happen organically with you if you keep working on this. So that's going to be like a big thing. And then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the Violet Lemon said, you know, for a beginner, you're doing really good. And that's true. You're doing really well. You know, it's the fact that you're already consistently listing. You have that many listings up. Your sell-through is already really good. Just want to see you get your dollar up so that it makes more sense for you to be doing it. We don't want you to be throwing money away. And it does tend to be when you're doing the lower priced items or you've bought something that you realize is a mistake and you're just trying to get rid of it. We've all done it. We all still do it. Everybody makes mistakes. And it's part of the cost of learning how to do a new business. It's the education of learning how to sell. It's the cost of the education, I guess. But, you know, what's really good is that you can learn from this and you want to keep making at least a little bit of a profit and then slowly increasing your profit as your stuff gets better. But I think you've got a good foundation for the stuff that you have in there. Most of your stuff is good. So it's just a matter of maybe tweaking the title or tweaking the listing or tweaking the shipping. And I think that if you get in there and make a few of these changes, you're going to automatically start seeing more sales without even listing new stuff. I think that's the stuff you currently have. Is going to see more activity.
What was your gross for the last 7 days, if you don't mind me asking?
Gosh, you don't even know. I had to hold on.
Or let's say for the last month.
The last, like 1,400.
Okay, 1,400. So I think, I mean, like I said, it's a numbers game. So, and you're wanting to average 1,000 a week. I really think you could probably, if you made a goal to maintain, if that was like where you didn't really want to grow much beyond that, you could probably maintain a store of, I'd say maybe like 800 listings around there to 1,000. I mean, you want to always be active and always adding to it. But if you're not looking to just get huge, you know, I would think that once you get to like maybe around 800 listings where you're listing daily with the type of stuff that you're selling right now, but increasing the average sale price, I think you could easily get to where you're averaging 1,000 a week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to take you. It's going to take you a little bit. I mean, it may take you a year to get there. It might take you 18 months to get there. But I think that it's a very doable thing.
Yeah, and you're going to love fourth quarter. You haven't had fourth quarter yet.
Yeah, just stock up and list as much as you possibly can over the next few months, because I will tell you that it doesn't matter that you're selling used items. Fourth quarter, people are just in a mood to spend, and your sales, because you're new, your sales are going to go through the roof from, the end of October until middle of January. And you'll be really surprised.
Yeah, people are just in the mood to spend money in general, so they will buy a lot. And I've got some enemies over in the chat right now, guys, who are encouraging Vikki to put her hard goods on sale at 50% off, so that I will be forced to ship
50% off.
And then apparently they want me to do a live show while shipping Vikki's hard goods, which will basically consist of me crying into packing material
and swearing,
and simultaneously cursing the day that Vikki was born, because seriously, like, I have it, you guys. I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm lazy. It's just, I don't like to be caught up by the minutia. I don't like to be like held up. It's like, I like to just get my stuff done. And so I've gotten myself to a point where, like, with my pictures, I have my setup where I can take my pictures. I don't have to edit anything. I don't have to crop anything. Everything's ready to go.
Profit margin
when I go, I understand. When I go, when I do any of my photos and my listing and my shipping, it's like, I've got it to where it's all soft goods. It's all clothing that I can, almost 90% of it, I could just throw into a poly mailer. It takes me like 2 seconds to get, because it's like, I don't want to deal with like having to find different size boxes and taping crap. And it's just, Oops. And then this one over here, she's like, oh, it's a great profit margin. It's really wonderful. And then, hey, could you come help me? Like, tape up this box?
Usually because I can't hold something because I need the third hand.
Well, there should be a rule that you can't source anything that you can't freaking hold.
Yeah, see, Allison, I call that lazy, but I'm old school. Ooh, I think you just got called out.
No, it is pretty lazy. It is pretty lazy. But my whole thing is, like, I don't want to hate any part of my job.
That's right. And Linda, I'm going to bring her home a lanyard. One of my little kids is going to make her a lanyard. It's camp. We make lanyards.
But it's like, if I find that there's something that I keep putting aside because I don't want to list it, which is, in this case, we'll say pants, because as you know, I am actually wearing pants. I'm wearing shorts. I'm actually wearing
She is wearing pants today.
Real live pants right now. If I see myself setting something aside and don't want to list it, then I'm like, I'm just not going to source it anymore, because I don't want to deal with that. I want to do the stuff that I have fun doing. If I hate it, I don't want to dread any part of my job. I want to enjoy all of it. Now, I know that's like a luxury, and a lot of people have to do things that they don't like to do. But I'm in a position where I don't have to, because I'm able to source plenty of things that I like to source. And then this one over here tortures me by making me help her.
Hey, well,
do stuff. And then she's like, oh, can you go to the FedEx office and drop this off? This really heavy box. I can't. It needs to be dropped off at the FedEx office. Could you drive and do that while I do my thing? And I'm like, thanks a lot.
I didn't ask, you offered, actually, so I'll take that back.
Okay, you got me.
But yeah, so there's someone there that asked, if you can scroll back a little bit on the questions. There's someone that asked the same question a couple of times, and it was just not quite what we were talking about, but I want to make sure I acknowledge it. So it was Gretchen. Gretchen asked, do you guys post shoes both side by side, or one with it on side? As far as, I think that's a picture question. How do you, I think that's a preference. I mean, both of mine are straight up when I take a photo. Everybody's a little bit different.
I mean, I can show you like a typical listing of mine as far as shoes go. Let me see, because I have, I'm sure everybody's the same with this. You have a way that there's like,
right on top.
Oh, there's one right on top. There you go. You have like a specific way that you like to do your pictures, and you kind of do it the same all the time. And so for me, I'll go over, hold on a second here.
Mine are not the same all the time. Katie's super good at being very uniform about.
Yeah, I just like everything to be really super consistent. There's certain things, I may be a slob sometimes, guys, but there's certain things that I'm really weird about doing precisely how I want them done. So I'm gonna do a screen share. So I always do, like, my main photo is always this kind of like, I guess, I don't know what you call it, like a 3/4 turn view of a pair of shoes. And then it's like, and then I take the right shoe and I get one side of it, the other side of it, the back, the front, kind of the top. And actually, somehow I forgot to take the picture of the bottoms of the shoes. I don't know how that happened. And then that. So yeah, so I can go back and, like, I have these other shoes. Where'd they go? Yeah, right here. So same thing. So I keep it super consistent.
Wow, mine are nowhere near that consistent. So yeah, listen to her.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the way I like to do it. Different people have different ways of doing it. Go look at shoes and kind of see how people.
What looks good to you.
Yeah, because I've definitely looked at other people's listings and thought to myself, like, oh, that's really cool the way they have that set up, because they'll do things where, yeah, they'll set it up so you can see the bottom of one shoe or whatever. So yeah, everybody has their own way of doing things. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know, were we very clear with our actionable tips there? I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, we just said a whole bunch of stuff to you guys. But I guess basically just bringing up your average sale price, bringing up your number, your inventory size, being consistent, and then making some of these little changes to like your shipping and stuff like that. But
shipping, titles, and photograph tweaking. Just tweaking stuff.
But I think overall, it's like you're on the right path. Like you've got little things you can tweak and stuff like that. But I feel like you're moving forward in a very natural progression. And so I think that's
your
great.
Sales are just going to grow as your numbers grow. It's just a numbers game.
Right. And one of the things I say to everybody is it's super important to always be learning. Before we started the show, I was talking about how there are people who are like, well, I've been doing eBay for 20 years and this is the way you're supposed to do it. And, or I've been doing eBay for 20 years and eBay's broken because I don't have any sales. And I think that has to do with there are people who get super set in their ways and they're not willing to accept or even consider the idea that
and they
change.
Haven't gone in and, maybe they didn't go in and change that, to make sure their stuff was mobile friendly or any of those things.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're just starting out now, so I think you're super lucky because you're coming into a version of eBay where this is just what you have experienced it as. It's an ever-changing creature, and as long as you have the understanding that like you're always going to need to be adapting, you always need to be learning. Don't ever feel like you have all the answers, because I know I don't have all the answers. I know I'm probably wrong a lot of times. Tomorrow I might suddenly decide like, oh, I should be doing it this way, and then I go and change everything. Like it's just, you can't be set in any particular way of doing things because then you're just going to get stagnant. And you're not
somebody that's very much like that is Chris Lynn, Daily Refinement. He is a teacher. But he's relatively new to the experience too. He's really only been selling for about a year and a half, but he's all about being really transparent about his process. And there have been so many different avenues that he's gone down in the last 18 months. And it's all about him documenting his learning process and how to list and how to store his inventory and what venues he's going to list on and how he's going to make the most money. And he's constantly evolving as he's learning. And now, I think that's pretty interesting.
I would say he's super interesting to watch his journey. I would say that maybe he switches things up a little bit too often, but that's just my opinion. Because sometimes it feels like there hasn't been enough time to see like what's going to work or not work. But it's super interesting.
He's got a lot of energy.
He's very kinetic, and it's super interesting to watch somebody who is
good word.
Thank you. Who is kind of trying new things all the time and willing to put it out there and let you guys see if he's failing or not or whatever. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see how different people operate.
We are all learning all of the time. Laura said the best way to learn is by following the stories of successful sellers. I firmly agree with that as well. I follow a lot of people. I follow people at Instagram, which is something I'm not very good at yet, but I'm trying to learn how to be better with the social media.
I'm terrible at the social media, guys.
So, I mean, for me, following successful sellers as well as new sellers, because new sellers have new and fresh ideas. And I've been doing this a long time. So a lot of the new sellers that are just a little bit more motivated maybe than I am or was. So I think you can learn a little bit from pretty much everybody. Everybody's got something new to share. And I appreciate that, because there are a ton of people that are on YouTube and on Facebook and lots of Facebook groups and YouTube sellers and that do videos, haul videos, all kinds of stuff. I like to follow a lot of different people because I think everybody has something different. And I think you can pick and choose what works for you based on what other people are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, Trisha wants to know about weighing everything before starting a listing so you have an idea for adding it to your listing price. My process, I weigh everything. I take my photos and measure and weigh right there, all in the same location. So for me, when I list it, I really, that's one of the things I'm just weird about. I like to have accurate weights because like for international stuff, I do calculate shipping, and it just helps me. I like everything to be kind of like front loaded, so that when I go to do like my bulk shipping, it already fills in all of the weights, all of the shipping, all the ways it's going to be shipped, everything. So it's just the way I do it. I know not everybody does that.
No, mine's a little bit different. I have my scale on my desk, so as I'm listing, I weigh things. But everybody's different. You definitely want to have your weight there when you're doing your listing, but I'll weigh it just as I'm getting down to the shipping area.
For sure.
So,
all right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here and joining us for the show. Is there, Denise, do you have any other questions or any like burning concerns that you would like to ask us about?
I don't think so. I really appreciate your help. I'm definitely going to implement the free shipping and look into the tweaking a few things that you said. So hopefully the sales will be skyrocketing soon.
I think you're on a good path for it. But
Awesome.
we really appreciate you being willing to put yourself out there and put yourself on display for everybody to kind of like, you know, look at what you're doing and how you have your listings. You know, it's definitely, I would say it takes a little bit of courage.
It does. You're pretty vulnerable doing that, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, so we really appreciate it. And I really think this is a great learning experience for everybody else. Which is why we've started doing these live store reviews. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there that do store reviews for people. Most of the time they do them privately. I think Kristlyn does do some store reviews, but not quite the way that we do it.
And a lot of people do charge, and
yeah,
that's not the intention here. We just want to help a few people at a time.
But by doing it live, it helps other people to learn from what we're talking to you about. So not only are you able to become a better seller, but hopefully some other people will pick up some tips and tricks and ideas of how they can improve themselves. So we really appreciate all of you guys being here and joining us.
They can ask questions, and that's the thing about doing live. People ask questions live that maybe they wouldn't have asked otherwise. So that's, you know.
Absolutely. And so you guys totally go and check out Denise's store. I saw some of you guys talking about how cute some different things were. Like she had some sort of daisy purse. Maybe you want to buy it. Maybe you need yourself a daisy purse. So go check it out. And thank you guys for watching the show. Again, if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, click on the link below. Join the Boss Facebook group. Come join us for Boss Up and List. It's every week we do it on Wednesdays. It's an all-day virtual listing party. Also, the other days of the week, I'm always putting up listing challenges. We do our hashtag 2 or 2, where every day you make the goal of at least listing 2 new items, or if you can't even do that, ending your 2 oldest listings, hitting sell similar, reworking them, so at least you have a fresh new listing for those.
On it.
Tweaking something on it. And the idea is just to always be keeping active with your listing, because we all know it's super fun to go out and source for new stuff. But when it comes to listing, that's the harder thing to buckle down on. So come join us there. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell next to it if you want to make sure that you know when new content does come out. And I really appreciate you guys joining us. And hey, go out there, get some more listing done, and just boss up.